This is Willow with her new babies. Yeah, about half a week old. Hey, he's a clever mum. Yeah. G'day, welcome back to Art with Alison. Now, today I'm going to be doing a pour on a 50 centimetres by 50 centimetres, which is 20 inches by 20 inches. So I thought I'd do it on a bigger one today. I always seem to end up with too much paint, so as long as I don't do too much paint because it's a bigger canvas, but we shall see. Anyway, so just quickly go through the colours. These are mainly Liquitex paints with a few DecoArt Extreme Sheens. This is a DecoArt Extreme Sheen 24K, and this is initially made up with 3 bottles of these 60 mils or 2 ounces. So 3.5 bottles it was, because I wanted it extra thick. Then I had the 3 bottles of the Floetrol. So that's all that's in there. There's no water. There's no water or silicone in any of the paints. So I wanted this lovely and thick. So you can see it's definitely mound on mound and leaves the trail for a while. This is the dioxazine purple, and this is the heavy body dioxazine purple, and all these heavy body paints, which are the Liquitex paints, they're all made up approximately 4 parts Floetrol to 1 part paint. And you can see still it's thick man on man, leaves a trail for a while. And this one here is the DecoArt Extreme Sheen Aquamarine. I love this colour. Oh, it's still a bit thick. See, if it goes blobby off your stick, as in blob and then blob, then it is too thick. It needs to be running. But having said that, with the Liquitex paints, I have found that they do often thicken on standing, and then once you give them a bit of a stir, they loosen up. I believe there's a term for that. Those of you who know, please tell me in the comments. And yeah, so don't go adding the Floetrol too quickly. Let's see how that is. It's still a little bit blobby. Just best to do it a little bit at a time, especially as this is the last of my aquamarine. I've got more on order, but alright, yes, it's flowing off the stick now, all nice without going blobby, and it's still thick enough, leaving a trail, so all good there. And this one here is the Turquoise Deep, again in the heavy body. Some people have said they like to see the colours and but basically you want them all to be pretty much the same consistency, because I think this is thickened up on standing. It's only been a few minutes. I did actually mix these all up a week or so ago now. I thought I'd do a big batch. There we are. Oh, the squeaks in the background. I've got baby puppies at the moment. They are 5 days old now. And this is the pink Tourmaline. So again, fairly thick. Yeah, it's just leftover paint. I do have some more of this, but I think what's in here is enough. I might see how I go when I'm doing doing the colours, but I might just do this all in one go, so I'll have hopefully one line of the pink tourmaline. Plus the Deco Extreme machines, what I love about those is that they do travel under the paints, or if they're under the other paints, then they'll come up in lovely big, what I call boulders around, which I just think are so pretty. This is also an Extreme machine, Pearl. And again, yeah, lovely and thick. You can see that. Comes off the stick easily. I'm not sure yet if I'm going to use this, but this is Mars Black in the Liquitex. And this one here is Ultramarine Blue Red hue in the Heavy Body Liquitex. Again, lovely and thick. With these, I'm going to do a straight pour, or even with the round pours. I find that the thicker paints do certainly work better. Otherwise, if your paints are too thin, your colours are just going to sort of run into each other too much, and yeah, you get a better effect. It depends what you're after, of course. This one here it's actually just house paint. This is British Paint's house paint in white. Now I've added the Deco Art satin enamel in warm white, because it's very hard to get the pure white at the moment, I'm finding. But anyway, I've got this one, and so I've added it to, I already had some, a little bit made up still. So I added quite a bit of the satin enamel to this, so yeah, I'd actually poured it in, so I can't tell you exactly, but there's a fair amount. I just sort of, there's probably a quarter, I'd say, to a third of the satin enamel in here. Or, okay, I'll explain first. I made up the paint with the Floetrol, and then I added the satin enamel to that. All right, so yeah, here's an example of what it looks like in the Heavy Body, the tubes. All right, yeah, also, when you're mixing up the tubes, a lot of people don't like to use a Heavy Body because they're so thick, and it's a lot easier to use the runnier paint to mix with your pouring medium. And if you mix up the Heavy Body too quickly with if you add too much of the pouring medium, you're going to end up with it not mixing very easily, and you just end up with lots of big clumps, and it's hard to catch those clumps, to squish them, to mix them with the others. But it's just like with cooking. Just add a little at a time of the liquid to the thicker part. So you squeeze this into the bottom, squeeze, because this is about 4:1, so about a quarter of what you want to do into your container. Squeeze that in there, and then add just a few drops of the pouring medium. What I'm using is Floetrol, and then stir that at the beginning, only a few drops. Stir that in, and it'll still be really, really thick. And then a few more drops, stir that in. And then once it starts to become more liquidy, then you can add a little bit more at a time until you get it up to your desired amount. Now, don't stick to, I've said 4:1, but it really depends on how thick your pouring medium is and many other factors, I'm sure, because sometimes I've been able to get this up to like 8 parts Floetrol to the 1 part paint. But again, also it depends what technique you're using, because I want this thick and my Floetrol at the moment is quite thin, so I'm using less Floetrol. All right, I hope that explains it. So I'm using the large canvas, and I thought rather than use it's wanting to go off the edge there, isn't it? It's not all the way on. Rather than using a big jug, which of course gives a wider base, I thought I'd do it in the narrower jugs, but of course they're not as tall, so I thought I would do what I want in the middle in the first part and go up to half a cup, which is 4 ounces, and then the rest in this cup. So basically I'll pour this out first and then finish with this one, and I hope that works. We shall see. So okay, this is the one I want to start with. So because there's so much satin enamel in here, I need to be careful not to put too much in, or the centre's just going to take over with a big cloud effect. So, but I just want a dash. Is that enough? Let me see. You want it to be there. I've kind of got these in order to give me, so I don't have to, sometimes also when you're talking, it's hard to think. And anyway, I might not need to talk. I'll just pour these along. I'll talk about my puppies, any of you who want to know. So yeah, I am a registered breeder of Labradors. I love dogs, obviously. I love having a house full of dogs. Of course, that's quite costly. Feeding, vet bills, etc. And I love puppies. So by breeding the puppies, it helps pay for all the expenses. And I love the puppies, and I'm very particular as to the homes they go to. People have to fill in a great big long application form so I can find out about them and make sure my puppies only go to the best of homes. And I do knock quite a few people back. And noises in the background. I've got lots of sleeping dogs at the moment. They've all been out running around. I was going to do that all in one go, wasn't I? Might not. There's a fair bit there. Right there. There's enough to do too. All right. Now I wanted to do the gold next. Because if I added the white, it's going to do white, but I don't want to add white next to that pink, or it's going to become pale pink. And I don't want a pale pink. I want a bold pink. I want bold colours that are going to catch your eye. And seal it in again with the gold. I've seen Sarah Mack doing this. I love Sarah Mack's paintings. If any of you haven't looked at Sarah Mack's paintings yet, I do suggest you have a look, because she does wonderful art. Alright, so yes, oh no, gold next to black. Yeah, that can make a funny colour. And this can make green, but that's okay. Just thought black next to gold. I love gold and black together, but yeah, you do have to be careful when mixing them. They can turn into a green. A dark, very dark green. Alright, what do I... Oh, yes, I almost forgot. I'm only doing 4. Actually, that's it exactly. Oh, how clever is that? Alright. Nearly forgot what I was intending to do. See, I told you about talking and thinking at the same time. They're a bit hard to do. Might actually go back to the satin enamel one. Oh, I just remembered I just put black in that last one. Maybe I'll... Don't want black next to white, because of course then you get grey. So I'll just pop some gold, see, on top of there. Now, because this is just been wiped clean, I can just pop that valuable 24K gold. No, it is hard to come by at the moment. It's not available from where I buy it from. I looked last night. And So I just still have a few pots left. It's one of my... got paint on my thumb and it's made it too slippery to hold. Alright. Bit of gold. She'll do a fair bit of that, I think. Ooh, it's very drippy, isn't it? I do love the dioxazine purple. Such a beautiful colour. Yeah. And I do find the purple next to the turquoise or aquas, they just go so nicely together. I might actually go back to a little bit more of this and then add the pink. Might have to put that down, just don't knock it over. Scrape this out. Oh yeah, you might notice I didn't go back over this dried bit when I was pouring it out because it's been dried for a while and you don't want flaky bits of dried paint. Gee, that dog's snoring loudly, isn't it? As I said before, they've been out playing and... oh, they're such loud snorers. I sometimes don't hear it when I'm editing, because when I'm editing these videos, I'm surrounded by snoring dogs. My very first video I did, my son said to me, "Mum, I was listening, watching your video and I couldn't work out what that sound was." And then he said, "Then I realised it was a dog snoring." So now I try and remember to mention that. Alright, where was I up to? White, so now I don't want the white next to the pink, so a bit more gold. I love this gold. And now this pearl. So the pearl is a metallic white. So it just gives a little bit of bling to it. And I might go straight to the blue. It's beautiful. I love this blue. And the purple. Should I do black in there? And the black can give you a bit of contrast, but you know, this purple's quite dark by itself. But alright, I'll do a little bit of black next to the purple. And maybe deep turquoise. So getting back to my dogs, I've been breeding I've been breeding dogs most of my life. Since I was a little girl, my parents always had our dogs have puppies, so exposed to that from when I was little, and yeah, just love all animals. That sinks, doesn't it? It's really sinking. And yet it looked thinner. I wonder if it's the satin enamel that makes it sink. Because it looked, I might empty this, it looked thinner. You know, it wasn't making a big man on a man like the other paints, but somehow it does sink. I wonder if that will follow the white down or if it will stay on the top. Be interesting to see what happens inside the jug. They mainly stay on in their layers, but we can't be sure. Alright, so that has taken that back up to the full 250 mils or 1 cup. Alright, so I will just clear all this away and get back to you in a minute. Okay, so what I've got here is previously scooped up paint, as in after doing the pour, you know, often there's a lot of paint spilled over. It seems such a waste to throw it away, and I like to scoop it up and see if I can use it again. And I've added quite a lot of the satin enamel to this, so yeah, if the satin enamel, I don't know, but if that is, I think it is, the reason why it can help get lovely cells. I know the Floetrol's got a lot to do with it. There's so many factors, and you can see here already, this is just the extreme sheen makes these lovely cells as well. So lots of different things. So I'm just going to use this as my base coat, but I'm just going to start off with a little bit in the middle. I'll just give that a twirl. Give it a torch. Get the air bubbles out. And I wanted it reasonably the same as the consistencies of the other paints that I'm using. Just do a little bit extra in the middle there, just to help it to flow basically. Otherwise what you pour sticks to the canvas, and as it spreads out, because it's sticking to the canvas, it rolls over itself, so you lose your pattern, you lose your composition, whereas this hopefully will just help it to slide out. Anyway, we'll see what happens when I pour. Alright, so I said I'd leave this for the end, which was the first bit. The little bit that I did, I don't know, yes, you can see this. It's quite heavy actually. Doesn't look like much. Alright, here goes. It's kind of, this point is a point of excitement and fear all at the same time, because you hope that you can control it and get what you want, but it really, a lot of it is up to the paint. So of course, you know, your layering does have something to do with it and the paints you choose, but you really don't know what's going to happen until you do it. Alright, so I said it's going to be a straight pour. We'll see how this turns out. If I remember, I try and keep that in the middle too. Keep that so it's even, but it doesn't look like it's coming out even at all, does it? There's colours all over the place. Shall go up high. I've heard that can help create extra cells. I'm not too bothered at the moment what this middle bit's going to look like, because this isn't going to be the middle. Alright. And look, see, you've got to be careful, she says, and doesn't do it herself. You've got to be careful. I just will let that drip out. You've got to be careful not to hold things over your painting, or you can get drips. Oh, look at those beautiful cells coming up. Alright, I might, while this is sitting there, I'll just give this a quick torch. Help get rid of the air bubbles. It's good to do this early, otherwise, because you can see where the air bubbles have popped. You can get the colour underneath coming up, so see those little black spots. And you don't really want that at the end of your painting, or it looks like it's got some disease. Anyway. This is the important one because this is what you're going to see mainly, because it's going to be in the middle. And I've started to think, is it going to end up touching that cup that I've put there? Do I lean over and grab that cup and meanwhile ruin my pattern? Just using both hands, sorry if I'm blocking the view, but just to try and get more control. Just doing a little bit of circling in the middle here, like seen Sarah Mac do. See if I can end up with a nicer middle by doing this, and then quickly grab it, and it still goes off to one side. What can I use? Because the middle is what's likely to get stretched out the most, you want to be happy with it before you start stretching. Yeah, that's all right. Oh, look at these beautiful cells. See, these are the cells that I like, these what look like boulders, which I believe is caused by the extreme sheen paint. Decorite extreme sheen causes these beautiful cells. So just a torch. Quite a few air bubbles. Like I made up the majority of the paint a week or so ago, but then I have in some of them added a little bit of extra Floetrol and things. So it's a good idea to let this sit. Now I see it's rolling over to that corner a bit, so I might just pop that under that corner. Okay, so yeah, I added that extra. That also has satin enamel in it, in case you're wondering. Just to make sure there's enough. And I'll just give this another torch. Oh, that's looking so pretty. I love this aquamarine and the 24K and the dioxazine purple with the turquoise in there, and yeah, that's the dioxazine purple again, and the pink tourmaline. Very pretty colours. Alright, let's see how we go. It's quite a big canvas. Little puppies making little squeaky noises. Yeah. They're fine, just listing in case I need to go over there, but just head towards that corner. Let's see how it flows. Okay, see how it's flowing, that stripe of aquamarine is staying where it is, it's not rolling under. Just doing this slowly because I don't want it to get out of shape if I can help it. I'm just going to turn it around because I do have a sore back and stuff, so it's easier for me to tip it towards the other way than to reach over to bring it towards myself with such a big canvas. Got the camera up as high as I could get it. So hopefully it stays somewhat in frame. Just again slowly, because otherwise it can just start rolling over itself. If you tip it too fast, if you tip it up too high, then it will go too fast, and then it really will just start rippling over itself. I mean, if you want that to happen, that's fine, but if you don't want it to happen, then just do it slowly. Alright. I think I could bring that. Can I bring that? No. Gee, look at that. Isn't that beautiful? Alright, no. I have to turn it around. And look where I dripped that. That's actually turned out quite pretty. Alright, so I'm just taking it back to the middle. Put it there. And I'll head towards that corner, nice and slowly. I don't mind that swinging around a bit. I don't really want that bit to go off just yet. So I'll just bring that down there and stop. Oh, it has just gone over. See, once it goes over, it then will cling on. You watch. And no, it's not a Star Wars expression, but it will cling onto the edge, and then it will sort of end up more, it won't just flow back, put it that way. So you just got to keep that in mind. If that happens, you just work around it. I mean, sometimes knowing that helps you. You might want it to just hook over, and then you can know that it's going to stretch out, because you see that does help. If you want to stretch something out, you hook it over, and then it helps stretch that out nicely. Right, I still won't go over just yet. Just get down there a little bit further. Bring it round. Now the dogs have decided to play, of course. They've all woken up. Unfortunately, they don't stay asleep for too long. It's alright, they might sound vicious, but they are just playing. Alright, I'm just going to wipe my hands and then give them a little torch. I've managed to get a few of them to go outside, but my microphone cord won't reach to the door, so I can't shut it. We shall see. It is part of my household, and unfortunately that's what happens. So I will proceed as best I can. Alright, so let's just spread this out a bit more. I'm loving the cells. I do love the colour combination as well. Might just let it go over now. Bring it back in a bit, then I'm not swimming in it as with the corner bits, with the push pins. Does it make sense? Alright, let's get that back down to the middle. don't know if maybe you'd prefer me to turn the sound off when the dogs are making this noise. Maybe you can let me know. Oh gee, that's so pretty over here. I mean, you can always just take that off and put a different colour there. You don't have to go over your corners. If it means losing something really nice. Just go back down. This time. Alright, sorry about that. I did manage to just reach the door and I've put them outside. They are a bit too noisy, aren't they? Oh, that's so pretty there. Oh. Sometimes you do have to sacrifice stuff, but see if I can just get it to just go over. Sometimes if you use your finger and pull it out like that, it can help too. Quick, bring that back. I might just hook that over a bit more. Is that hooking over or not? Not really. Anyway, we'll see. Back to the middle. I'll go down to this corner. Try not to lose too much of it. That over there like that. Quickly bring it back. And down to that corner. Yeah. Alright, quick, bring it back. That is really nice. Just got to do something with these bits here that are the undercoat. Just wipe off my hands because they got very covered. Okay, yes, most of the dogs are outside, but there's still a couple in here. One of them's chewing an old bone. They're the older ones, they're not as noisy. Alright, let's find some colour that I want on this corner. Might use the bigger one actually. Really nice. Aquamarine might look nice there. There's a little bit there already. Don't want that. The undercoat's taking over. Having a little look underneath. That's quite nice. Right, so this bit here, I'll just scrape off that undercoat. And there's some lovely bits of gold here. See if that matches in or if it's too pale. Sometimes when they all mix together a bit, they end up losing their colour a bit. Little squeaky puppy noises. Dogs aren't happy at being outside. They're going, hey, we want to come in. I'll let you in just a few minutes. Some people have said they want to see me doing my corners, so if you don't want to watch this, that's fine. You can just, no, it's all a bit of a nothing colour. You can just skip ahead. But do watch the end, because the end bit I've got I'll have the close-ups, and you've got to watch that you haven't got too much of the undercoat in amongst what you pick up. Another way to do it is go like this, do your scooping up and see what you get from that. And that looks lovely actually. But of course you want to have it so that it looks like it's part of the painting, so do it in little bits that look like cells. Sometimes when you're scooping from underneath you will get a lot of the undercoat as well, so you just got to watch that. The noise is the dogs pushing against the doggy door, which of course they can't get through because the door's shut. And they're not used to this because almost always they have access whenever they want. And they're like, hey, what's going on? What you can do is have a pot rather than just put it onto your paper towel each time. Save it. Oh yeah, I like that. It's important that you treat your corners as you treat the rest of your painting, because you take all that time making a lovely painting and then your corners aren't very nice, and if you do them in a hurry, I think, I mean everyone do what you want, but I like to make it so that they're as good as the rest, as best I can anyway. Okay, happy with that corner, happy with that corner, swivel it round. And watch while you're doing this, you don't go and plonk your finger on the edge, which I have done. Now they're saying, hey Mum, you've forgotten, the door's shut, let us in. Right, so I just scrape that off. Sorry, Toffee, just stay there for a little bit longer. Good girl. Just for a little bit. I'll let you in a minute. What's under there? Oh no, that's not that pretty there. Oh, I got up too fast from her babies. Oh, this looks pretty there, doesn't it? Again, there's that undercoat. Alright, no, I don't like that. Right. See what we get from that. Again, lots of the undercoat. Sometimes I think it's a good idea to have your undercoat the same colour that you want the rest of your painting for this very reason. So you don't end up with your undercoat mixed in for when you're doing this. Right. Doesn't matter if it's different, if it looks like it's part of the painting. Not really getting enough. Already scraped under there. Puppies are fine. They're just going, hey, where did Mum go? Right, but there's too much of that pale there. See what we've got underneath. And always watching what you're doing. I might tip this up and spread this out a bit. Doesn't matter if that goes off there. That's a little bit boring. I'm just having a quick look under here and no, there's nothing that interesting. Maybe this bit here. I might just have, okay, I'm going to make up a little cup. A little cup just to do that corner because I'm not finding the colours I want. So, just wipe my hands. Just tip this back. Scraper thingy. Scrape this over here. Oh, look at those pretty colours. Right, might just show you actually while we're here how I scrape this up and put that in there. That's what I do at the end normally. Just do that for the minute. Okay, now I'll do this quickly because my battery's running out. Okay, here's the dark steam purple. A little bit of that. And the ultramarine blue. I'll just do it for my height, it'll make it a bit thinner. Alright, I wonder if this will work. I think I've done two thicker layers, really. I've not done this before, but we can try. I just know all it's going to come out is a gold, but I'm just going to do a little stir. Just to mix colours a little bit. This might just turn into mud. Let's have a look and see. I think I'll start off pouring some into here because I don't want it just gold. Come over here. rainbow go down your sides, she says to herself. And we have to check at the end. I mean, that looks all very pretty, but does it match? I don't know. Not really. Might just kind of matches, but it's a bit too bright. The colours, they're not muted enough. Alright, well, I've done my best. I can always do it again, but I think I'll just try tipping it a bit and see what happens with that. Try not to hit anything. Running out of space here. Alright. Maybe we'll just have to run off the corner. Now don't go too fast, Alison. See, it's starting to ripple up here even. Just slowly. I'm getting impatient. Just slowly, slowly. Try doing this. Just to encourage it over. Don't want to lose this though, this is so pretty. Just... I think that's all right. Now, let's go back. The battery cutouts, so I just did a few corners like I did the other one, and happy with that. I've just done it back and forth a few times, and now the dogs are outside the window making noise. Anyway, not the window, the sliding door. Alright, I'll bring you in for close-ups and then I'll show you the dried results at the end. Alright. Some red-tailed black cockatoos flying overhead, and just catching the last rays of the afternoon evening sunshine, and that little bit of sun still makes that gold glisten, doesn't it? Alright, I'll show you it in the shade. And here we are with it in the shade. Really happy with this one. I love, kind of looks soft and I don't know, it's just got some lovely tones about it. I love this. This is a dioxazine purple mixing with the gold, and it almost looks brown. But it's a lovely earthy tone. Those lovely cells down here, they're gorgeous. So yeah, you can see it's dried really nicely. I think this over here is really pretty too. Lovely colours in there. It's a lovely area. Even these, I think these are just really pretty. I actually saw a kangaroo up here before, but unfortunately it's gone. One day I'll try and capture one for you guys. I just got to see my dog. One of my dogs. Oh. On the move tonight. Even that, isn't it? Just so soft, those colours. Isn't that pretty? Okay. Thank you again so much for watching. Really appreciate it, and hope you're all keeping safe and well, and do take care of each other. All right. Bye for now.